Grade mathematicians, I want to make sure that you understand your integer sheet. So my daughter Cassie is here to help me today. She's going to do some different things that are going to let us add and subtract some negative integers. I opened a dojo account for her, and so she's got the dojo there so we can add and subtract on there and see what it might look like when she does different things. So the first thing I want to show you, she drew this really great picture of me on the board, and she just drew a mustache on my picture. I think we're going to dojo. So our first problem on this worksheet here says -5 plus a -2. So I'm thinking, Cassie, she's already kind of in the doghouse with me. She's got -5 points before we even started. But now that she drew a mustache, I'm going to take away 2 more points for being mean and drawing a mustache on my picture. Okay, so I've got dojo up here. I'm going to go to Cassie. Right now, she is -5. And I am going to go to needs work. And I'm going to take away 2 more points. So I'm going to add -2 points right there on drew a picture. And look at that. She drew a mustache on me. And look what her number is now. Now her number is -7. So we just demonstrated that first question. That first question said, what do we do when we have -5 plus -2? Now, in our interactive notebooks, we know that what we can really do is we can say, we're going to take the absolute value of -5 and the absolute value of -2 and do the operations. The absolute value of -5 is 5. Absolute value of -2 is 2. And we add them together, and that equals 7. And since they're both negative numbers, we're going to keep the negative number and make that a -7. So that's the way we would actually do the problem mathematically if we wanted to do that. But I'm not going to require you to do the absolute values because you probably are seeing when I have a negative number and I add another negative number, like adding negative points, I get a negative number answer. So all I'm doing is adding those 2 absolute values together and making it a negative answer. And there's my -7 on my sheet. So let's try one more that might be a little bit easier. What if I had, right here, I have 100 plus -25. Now that would be a lot of points. She had a whole bunch of points and I took away 25 points. But this is kind of like, what if I had $100 in my checking account and then I write a check? And so that's like adding -25 to my account because I'm taking $25 out. That's just like 100 minus 25. Remember we said we take the absolute values and we just subtract. So 100 minus 25 is 75. That's really easy math. That's all you're doing on this first page. So when we're adding integers, it says right here at the top, to add them with the same sign, we add their absolute values. When we do different signs, we take their absolute values and we subtract them, and then we keep the sign of the largest number. Since the largest number was 100, we keep that sign. All right, guys, we already did these in class, but I'll remind you how they work. I have here 7 minus 9, and remember we said that what we do is we add the opposite when we subtract. So I say 7 plus -9. And you could use your number line that you have on your pink paper in your interactive notebook, and you could start your paper clip on 7. And since we're adding -9, we'd go down 9 spaces from 7. And when we did, we'd end up on a -2. Or we could do this the way that we did this before. Since we now have it turned into an addition problem, 7 plus -9, we know now that what we do is we take the absolute values and we subtract. So the absolute value of 9 is 9. Absolute value of 7 is 7. We subtract, that gets 2. And since we started out with 9 is the largest absolute value, and it was a negative, we're going to keep the negative sign and make it a -2. So there's a couple different ways you could do that. You could kind of think about money. You could think about your elevator going up and down. You could use your paper clip, or you could use the absolute values. And then we had one more problem that we did together, and we said, what if we had 2 negatives together? And remember, that was when we said, that's like if I do not have chickens. If I don't have chickens, I just don't have chickens. If I do have chickens, I do have them. But if I don't not have them, then I actually do have them. And that's what we have going on here. We have the number 20 minus a -6. That is the next one on your sheet, 20 minus a -6. And what we do here, since there are 2 negatives together, we just turn them into plus plus. Minus a negative plus a positive. That's just how it goes. It's a plus plus, so 20 minus a -6 would be 26. And since that's a little bit confusing, I'm going to write down here 26 and circle it on my sheet. So I've got these two answers on my sheet. Since that's a little confusing, I'm going to show you a dojo example because I know that you enjoy those dojo examples. So yesterday, I wanted my husband to bring me ice cream home, and he said it was Cassie that didn't remember the ice cream. So I went to the dojo, and I took away -2 points for not bringing the ice cream home. Well, when I talked to Cassie later, she said Daddy was telling a bit of a story because he didn't want to get in trouble with me, and he didn't want to lose any dojo points. So he's probably going to lose another dojo point for telling stories. But what I'm going to do is I need to take this dojo point away from Cassie. So she had -9 because she didn't bring any ice cream home, and ice cream is worth -2 points. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract that negative. So I'm going to go over here to my report so I can get to Cassie. And here's Cassie right here. She's kind of in the hole right now. She's been having a bad day. And I see here that I have -2 because she did not bring ice cream home. So if I take -7, which is what, I'm sorry, -9, which is what she has right now. I have -9 right now. And I'm going to take away that negative point. So I'm subtracting a negative. -9 minus the -2 point. And when I take away that -2 point, I'm going to remove it. I'm going to delete it. I want you to show you what looks here. Now she has -7 because -9 minus -2 is going to be -7. That's how come you turn it into plus plus, because -9 plus 2 is -7. Okay, so the next part of our sheet is actually on multiplying integers. And when you have integers that are the same sign and you multiply them, you get a positive number. When you have integers that are different signs and you multiply them, you get a negative number. What? Cassie, did you just stand on that seat, on that desk 3 times?
Yes.
Oh, good gravy. Okay. She's getting some minus negative. She's getting some negative dojo points for standing on the seat. All right, my daughter stood on the seat of that desk 3 times, and I think that is a -2 dojo point, and she did it 3 times. So I'm going to have to take 3 times a -2. So I'm going to go over here to Cassie, and I'm going to click on her, and I'm going to take away -2 for standing on the desk seat. That's 1 time. I'm going to do it again. That's 2 times. And I'm going to do it again. And that is 3 times. And 3 times -2 is -6. So she's got -6 points now. If you look at number 8 on your sheet, number 8 says 3 times -2. So I just gave you the answer to that. 3 times -2 is -6. When I take a positive number and I multiply it times a negative number, I get a negative answer. When I take a negative number and I multiply it times a positive number, I get a negative answer.
Spock is a pointy-eared elf. He's emotionless and a computer.
Cassie just made fun of Spock twice. I'm taking away -3 dojo points twice.
Wait, I was just quoting McCoy.
She was just quoting McCoy. Oh my goodness, I need to fix that because I gave her -6 points and I need to fix that. So 2 times I took away a -3 points because she was making fun of Spock. So -3 times -2. I'm going to go in really quickly and fix this because that looks really bad. So I'm going to go over here. And Cassie has -3 points 2 times. So what I did is 2 times -3, and that was equal to -6. But I don't want that on anymore. So I'm going to take away those points 2 times. So let me take them away 2 times, and that should get her back to 0 again. If my computer would work. There we go. So take away, remove 1, delete that, and remove another one. So that she can be all fixed up. Okay, she should be back to 0 now. Oh, she is. She's at 0. I fixed her. So what we have is that we had her making fun of Spock. And so first I said, well, 2 times -3 equals -6. But then I figured out she wasn't really making fun of him. She was just quoting McCoy. So that would be -2 times -3. And -2 times -3 is actually +6. And -6 plus +6 is actually 0. So she's back at 0 now. So when I multiply a negative times a negative, I'm going to equal a positive. So right here on your sheet, number 13 says -2. When it has those numbers right next to each other like that, that means multiplication. So -2 times -3 is actually +6. Okay, guys, by now you should be almost done with your sheet. We just have one more page, and this is on dividing integers. Dividing integers works just like multiplying. If the signs are the same, it's a positive. If the signs are different, it's a negative. And other than that, it's just like regular multiplication. There's a couple of them that I thought you might have a little bit of trouble with. For instance, I have one that says 18 over -2. It looks just like this. I want to remind you that this just means division. We talked about this already. This is going to go in here, 18, and we're going to divide it by -2. Well, 18 divided by 2 is 9, and since I have a positive and a negative sign, they're different signs. So the answer is -9. So I'm going to put -9 on my page right here on number 3 is -9. Okay. And one other one that might give you troubles is look at number 18. And number 18 looks like this. -4 times -4 divided by 8. Since these are right next together, it means times. -4 times -4. Well, the 4 times 4 is 16. Since the signs are the same, we know it's a positive number. So then I just have 16 divided by 8. And 16 divided by 8 equals 2. Okay? So we will be picking up this sheet tomorrow in class. I don't have to see a lot of work on your sheet because most of this is simple math as far as your multiplication and division. The hard part is knowing what to do with those signs. It's got lots of instructions at the top of the page. Use them. You've got instructions in your interactive notebook. Use that. I'll see you tomorrow.